Hey everybody, so last night I saw X-Men Dark Phoenix, directed by Simon Kinberg, starring Sophie Turner, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, Ty Sheridan, Alexandra Shipp, Evan Peters, and Jessica Chastain. X-Men Dark Phoenix is a steaming pile of X-Men dog shit. I'm not kidding when I say this is possibly the worst superhero movie I've ever seen in theaters. It feels unbelievably short. It's about an hour 45, but I looked down at my watch thinking, oh, maybe I'm only an hour, 50 minutes way through this at best. I had 10 minutes left in the movie. Before I knew it, this movie was over. And I'm not saying it like I enjoyed it. I hated myself while I was watching this movie. There's so many problems. Let's get into it. The story blows, and so does the script. It doesn't let the audience know anything that is going on, and it's just throwing at the screen to tell the audience this is bad and this is good. They keep harping on Charles, that he did something so unbelievably bad to Jean when she was a child, but never explain what's so bad of what he did. He took her in and gave her a home and taught her how to use her powers. What's so bad about that? I understand that he built walls in her mind to protect herself from finding out that her father was still alive and didn't want her anymore, but what is bad about that? I don't understand. On top of that, Kinberg does not understand his character's powers at all. All of a sudden, Hank can control his powers and can easily change between himself and Beast, which has never been previously shown in one of the other movies. And Cyclops' beams go from killing aliens in one shot to being hit by his own beam and being fine in the next shot. On top of that, they completely write out fan favorite Quicksilver out of the movie, so Evan Peters is in about 2 fucking scenes, and they completely blow the reveal that Mystique would die in the movie. They both clearly had something better to do, so they fuck off out of the movie, or they just clearly didn't know what to do with them in the script, which is, I think, the case with Quicksilver. Because I don't understand, why would you write out the character that had the best scene in Apocalypse and one of the cooler scenes in 2014 in X-Men Days of Future Past? Why would you write that character out? Why wouldn't you want him in the movie? Because he doesn't fit the script. He doesn't fit the story. The story doesn't make any sense. The villain doesn't make any sense. Everything sucks about this fucking movie. Also, to compare this to another Marvel property, a movie that came out earlier this year, about 2 months ago, with Avengers Endgame. Iron Man had many movies to build his character and allow the audience to connect with him on a personal level. Just about 7 movies. While the X-Men have had 4 movies since 2011, including this one, over the last few years. I don't know why I said that. Do the same thing. So when a character dies on screen and the audience has no reaction to it emotionally or visually, that means you have failed as storytellers and writers. I cried when Tony died in Endgame. I could not give a tenth of a shit when Mystique died. When they tip-teased Jean dying in the beginning of the movie. And when everyone's getting their shit rocked in the end, I couldn't care about them. I cared about Magneto, and I cared about Professor X, because those are the 2 characters I liked from Days of Future Past and from X-Men First Class. I don't give a shit about Ty Sheridan as Cyclops. I don't give a shit about the kid who plays, oh no, what's his name? Nightcrawler. I couldn't fucking care about any of these characters. And I don't give a shit about Storm. She's a terrible, terrible fucking actress. Terrible, horrible. And has maybe 6, 7 lines in the entire movie, if that says something. But like I said, it good storytellers, good writers make you care about every character that's in your movie. But I couldn't care about all these emotional scenes and emotional beats that were happening on screen. And apparently, Beast and Mystique had this unwritten romance that they were so in love with each other, but nobody knew. Nobody knew on screen. The audience didn't know until Mystique told Beast that she loved him when she was dying. Where the fuck did that come from? That makes no sense. It's never been shown on screen that they had any kind of chemistry together. So why would you try to build a romantic relationship between them? Why can't it just be friends? Why can't it be a purely platonic relationship that Beast wants to get vengeance for? Why does it have to be a romantic one that you've never seen on screen before? It makes no fucking sense. The script and story are just plain awful. I've already said that. But the villains are horrible. Jessica Chastain is easily one of the worst movie villains I've seen so far this year. She was not invested in the role and clearly didn't give a shit, just like everybody else. I didn't care about the aliens. I didn't care about their cause. I didn't care about them at all. I didn't like the look of them. I didn't like the way they sounded. Their powers make no sense. They just keep getting up and up and up, and there's 1,000 of them. Why are there so fucking many of them? They're all just cannon fodder. It's stupid. And that last fight scene is comedically bad. It's so quick cut. The CGI is terrible. It looks terrible. And it really does look like it got thrown together in a week because they had to rewrite the movie away from space because Captain Marvel took that thunder from them. So when one of Magneto's henchmen kills somebody and then somebody puts their hand on her head and just rips her out of the train, I fucking laughed. It's terrible. That last fight scene is atrocious. Atrocious. And that's another problem that I have with this movie is that's the problem with the movie at its core. What does that mean? What am I talking about? The script? Whatever. Absolutely no one in or around this movie gave a single shit. The script is lazy. The directing is lazy. The CGI is horrendous. The motivation sucked. The villains are horrible. Every set looks like it was filmed on the backlot on Universal Studios backlot tour. And on top of that, the sound design is graining as all hell. The music choices are terrible. Not that they don't fit the scene that they're in. The songs are just horrible and composed badly and just don't sound good. And Beast has the same shitty stock sound of an animal roaring every time he moves. And every time they did it, I wanted to pull my hair out. The only positive thing I have to say about this movie is the casting. I have said for a long time that I love the Fox X-Men casting. I think they nailed every character nailed every character to an actor in 2011 with First Class, but they have simply failed them. Fox could have had good movies with these characters, but they decided to be lazy. But it's also like been 30 years in this universe since the Cuban Missile Crisis in the 60s, which was in X-Men First Class. But it seems like none of the characters from that movie have aged 10 years, if that. It's to the point where Nicholas Hoult, who's Beast, looks the same age as Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. That's really off-putting. And I can see it, how James McAvoy could become Patrick Stewart to be in the first X-Men, and you kind of line that up. But how does Michael Fassbender degrade that fast to become Ian McKellen? And I'm not putting any of these actors down in any way. I love all four of those actors. But Fassbender and McKellen look nothing alike at this point. And in about 10 years, Fassbender has to look old as hell real quick. And I don't see how that's going to possibly line up. This movie is just frustrating to me. It is easily the worst X-Men movie, and I can't believe I'm saying that after I saw Apocalypse back. It just felt lazy, simply put, and I'm glad I won't have to see any more of these terrible Fox-produced X-Men movies. I can't wait to see a good Magneto and a good Professor X in the MCU. That's all I want. That's all I'm hoping for. And unfortunately, we can't do the same casting. Because if you ask me, Fassbender and McAvoy are perfect for those characters. This saddens me to say I do like the X-Men. I like the franchise. But it hurts to see them go out on such a low note like this. I have to give X-Men Dark Phoenix a 3.5 out of 10.